don't really care.
All right, it's Lunenburg Water District Commissioners Meeting, July 26, 2023. We're gonna start by doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We got warrants. Did you guys go through them yet? No? Can I grab one of those pens, John? And while we're doing that, discuss proposed new Zone 2 bylaw.
Okay, so Adam from the planning board called, and they were looking at the land down near Keating's. They were talking about more of those warehouse kind of designs, and the existing Zone 2 bylaw was very restrictive on many things, that way above what DEP requires. Mm-hmm. So he asked if we would be interested in just following the DEP's guidelines. So the bylaw that's in front of you is DEP's bylaw. It's not ours, it's theirs.
Sure.
I sent it to our hydrogeologist, and he just had a change on words. So if you look at it, you'll see page 3. He just changed groundwater to water supply. That was all he had. I sent it to Mass DEP, and they only had one change, and they put changes to the Zone 2 boundary requires approval from Mass DEP. So other than those two little things, everybody's good with this thing. I just had a few minor changes. It was more of upon a special permit. It didn't state water district, it said DPW. So it was either they removed DPW and put water district, or add us in addition to. So that was page 6, that procedures for a special permit to that. So just making us part of the loop so we would know. Other than that, this is straightforward. It's just Zone 2. Doesn't reference Zone 1 in any way. We only control Zone 1. So no, if we don't want you to walk on it, we can stop you from walking on it.
Well, what's the major change in this?
There was on the old one. It had a lot of wording that said things that were restricted, but it didn't say. If it didn't say it was restricted, then you could do it.
Yes, okay.
This one's more that these are restricted, and then other than that you can do. So it was more. This is more accurate. It's more precise.
Okay. So it doesn't change the boundaries of the Zone 2?
No. So there's two parts to this whole thing. This references the map.
Correct.
So if the map comes up again and that's denied, then the existing map stays in place because that's already approved. If the bylaw is changed, then the previous bylaw, if you want to see that, the previous bylaw will disappear and this new one will take place. So there's two votes. One is the map, and one is the bylaw. Although I'm not sure how they do it, this bylaw could reference the new map, and it's one vote to do both.
So this change is coming from the town and the planning?
Yes.
Okay. We've gone over this before, so I gotta ask, have they looked at the other Zone 2 so that, we don't consider just that one location? We consider the effects of this on another location before?
Well, this is gonna refer to the new Zone 2 map. Well, which was only the change was a little finger on Kilburn Street.
So we're gonna get that change?
I assume that'll be part of this.
So the only effects will be to the Lancaster Ave well site and the well site down in Keating's?
And Hickory Hills. Every Zone 2.
Okay. Is there something in here that somebody's gonna have issue to, or are we gonna leave that up to the town, or is it,
I don't think that would have issues in this.
Okay.
But this Zone 2 is for all our wells.
All Zone 2s?
Yeah, all Lunenburg, yes.
Right,
And,
so when
even the Shirley and Townsend Zone 2s are.
They're trying to do this for developmental purposes in the Keating area, correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
And will this change any developmental issues in the other areas that have zone twos?
I don't believe so. I don't.
'Cause that's, I'm just trying to, everybody looks at things differently, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
head something off.
Yeah, so I
So-
don't really know how to answer that one.
Okay.
Because that could be specific to something. I think this one covers the same thing as the old one did. It's just more accurate how it describes it.
Okay, and who's bringing this to town meeting?
Planning board presented to us. I told them I'd bring it up to you guys to see what you guys thought.
I would.
You don't need to vote on it.
No, I'd like to just digest it, go through it myself, but then my assumption is that planning board's gonna bring this change to town meeting, not us.
I would agree. Yeah.
And I would, the only thing I'd want to include, which should be in this, is that zone 2 that we were trying to
New
change
zone 2.
before, and that's probably gonna be it. Because any changes we try to make to map, unless we want to tie it to a bunch of other things, but I think that keeping it simple might be the easiest way.
This is very simple. Yeah, so when you guys read it.
You say it's very,
Now, our rules and regulations are more restrictive than the DEP?
The old bylaw, which was from years ago, which
The one we
Which is
have now?
currently in play.
currently in place, yes.
the old bylaw that the town, the old bylaw with the town. It's
Yes.
not,
Yeah.
it's not ours, we bring it to the town, and the town votes on what they want to do. So what we're doing is saying this is okay with us, but the town wants to make the town bylaw less restrictive than what it is currently. Is that my take on it?
That's,
A
yeah.
fair
Now,
assessment?
why would they want to do that?
Well, a lot of things in the old one really don't apply to what I've corrected. I mean, so if you have something and you can do it and not have a concern for the water supply. In the old one, that didn't give you that. You know, it was so restricted that no matter what, you couldn't do it. And the new one says you're allowed this. You're allowed to have hazardous chemicals as long as it's in a non-pervious environment. It's enclosed and things. So it allows you to do it with how to do it. And the old one says you just can't do it, no matter what. That you're not allowed to have that. So like a
I
warehouse.
kind of like that.
I kinda like that too, to be honest with
I
you.
well, that's the thing, I kinda like the old one, and I think that you're gonna see some residents that are probably gonna look at this as a way of, I mean, I understand it's targeted to one area specifically where people aren't
But it does apply to
concerned.
everybody. It's
Right.
all.
So if you got,
Right.
so if you got hazard chemicals now, I mean, you can't have them at all. But
Well, this only applies to any new construction.
but this is gonna allow hazardous chemicals, so I don't know.
The only zone 2 that we have is, in my guess, would be at the Keating Well.
No,
That's
almost.
commercially zoned.
A little bit of the
or
Lancaster
industrial.
Ave one, up on Mass Ave, that gets into the commercial area.
I'm just looking for the potential, and if that's what everybody else is gonna look at, what's the potential to affect other zone 2s by reducing
All right,
by allowing things with proper process, is what I think they're trying to do, instead of just saying you can't do it. That there is a proper process to developing a site and being able to mitigate any situation that could affect the zone 2. And that's what the new bylaw is saying, as long as you follow a procedure, then you're okay to do these things in zone 2, as opposed to right now, our zone 2 is like, no way, no how.
Right.
so if you guys wanna go through it, page 4, I mean, there's not all, you've got permitted uses. Conservation soil, water, plants, wildlife, outdoor recreation, foot bicycle, pass, horse pass, bridges, normal operation, maintenance of existing water bodies, dams, splashboards, and other water control supply conservation devices, maintenance, repair, and enlargement of existing structures, subject to section 7 and 8, which we'd have to read, residential development, farming, gardening, nursery, conservation, forestry, harvesting, construction, maintenance, repair, enlargement, drinking water supply, any use permitted in the underlying zone except for the uses specifically prohibited in section 7A. So prohibited, landfills and open dumps, so definitely don't want to argue with that. Automobile graveyards and junkyards, landfills, facilities that generate, treat, or store hazardous waste. So very small quantity generators defined, I'm not sure what that means. Household hazardous waste centers, waste oil retention, water remediation treatment works approved by DEP for treatment of contaminated waters. Petroleum fuel and heating oil bulk storage. So everything that's prohibited is legit.
Yep.
And then there's a whole nother page of it. De-icing materials, animal manure, commercial fertilizers, stockpiling, disposal of snow, earth removal below 4 feet, sanitary wastewater. So I mean, all legit things that are not permitted. And then the uses and activities requiring a special permit. I think that's tying into all the other things. So I mean, if it's not permitted,
Then you
then you
need
go into
special
the other.
permits for the other things.
right.
It just, it just strikes me kind of odd that the planning board is trying to make things easier.
I find that odd too, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying yay or nay. I would like to read this more, and I'd also would like to see what
Yeah,
the
it
old one
seems to me
says.
there's some kind of underlying thing there that we're
Well,
not picking up
I
on.
can't say that,
John,
maybe.
John, would you say it's easy to develop in the town of Lunenburg?
No,
So I think that's what they're trying to help facilitate, is a little bit of commercial and, you know, trying to make it so that it's not as restrictive. The document did go to DEP, who is our regulating authority.
well, I would like
So,
to see.
you know, the concept of the whole thing, I'm on board with, but I'd like to read through it as
Yeah,
well.
I'd like
you
to
know.
see, I'd like to see the planning board make things easier for development in town, but I don't think that's their agenda.
Well, I mean,
I think in this case it was.
yeah.
Well, if it is, I'm completely on board with it, because I think if this is the case, they should add a lot more other things to
Yeah.
make things easier.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I think the reason they brought this is targeted to that area where there is the potential for industrial, commercial tax base for the
Yeah,
community.
well, I'm glad to
which
see
is Which
that.
is great, and you know,
Yeah.
I applaud them for it, the concept is
So
good.
do I.
The only reason I want to scrutinize this thing is the residents are going to scrutinize us if we make a change that's going to adversely affect them or the water supply.
All right, I agree. I hope it's a legit request, and if it is, I'm
I think it is.
I'm on board with it.
It's,
You know, if it's gone through DEP and gone through our engineering firm, you know, we gotta put a little bit of faith and trust in their professionalism and what they do, and DEP is our regulating authority.
This was written by DEP. This
Yeah.
is DEP's sample.
Right, and you can kind of imagine that over time, things have had to evolve. I don't know when the original Zone 2 was put in place, and it's more of a town thing, so as long as this is from DEP, we're protecting the water supply, we're doing what we need to do on our end. You know, then it's up to the planning board to present this and list the reasons why. And us to review it and give either our blessing or not on it, but it seems like DEP and our engineering firm has given us their opinions.
All right, well, like I say, I'm just leery.
I'm with you, change is, yeah. You know,
Especially-
anytime you think something's easy, it never is.
No,
Well, just here's a simple one. Maintenance, this is allowed in the current, maintenance and repair of existing structure provided that there is not an increase in impervious surfaces. So that's pretty, no, you can't do it. You can't make your parking area bigger. This one gives you percentages. So
That you
it'll
can
allow
make it bigger.
So
It
just-
also allows you for what about our bylaw as far as installation of impervious surface?
Yeah, that ties this one too, because this one,
That
it
ties-
gives you the percentages. So if you build a new facility.
Does that say that like no new parking lots?
This,
I'm assuming that it would have to be with, if the ours says no, that this has got to give you percentages or some way to replenish the groundwater. Because that's all the stormwater stuff now. So,
yeah, you'd have to go and
you guys
I think
want copies of the old one.
I think a good idea, yeah, I'd like to have a copy of the old one to review with this one, and, you know, we'll just push it to the
Make
next,
copies on it?
push it to the
Yeah.
next meeting, and,
Yep.
and see if we have any questions on it. And we'll go from there, and I would just ask that you double check with planning that when this was brought forth, the consideration of the Zone 2s, the other Zone 2s.
Right.
And the only thing I'd like to see us push along with it is the expansion of the Zone 2 that we needed for the well that didn't pass the last time. I think that's kind of an automatic, and I think that we need to push that expansion of that Zone 2.
Yeah.
Especially where we're talking about Zone 2 and changing the bylaw for Zone 2, then they might as well,
Do the map too.
if they're getting something, sorry, they're getting something, we want something. And I think our ask is small on that.
Appeal thing.
The NOI?
Yeah, mine. Look,
Oh, Woody has it, he was looking, isn't that it?
Yeah, it's right here, isn't it?
I don't know.
It is.
I think that's yours, isn't it?
This is
Okay.
this.
So,
You looked confused. with one of the
Yeah,
things.
if we're.
oh, yeah,
Sorry,
right,
we're
right,
still
quick.
going signing warrants.
Who is Joan?
Mine was,
She overpaid.
Oh, okay,
And it's was a
Got-
final
gotcha.
water sale.
No problem.
So we're zeroing out her account.
Yep, gotcha.
you know, I had the same question, but I
Okay.
didn't get on that.
Probably wasn't a big enough amount, and I guess I'm really bad, I should be looking at the numbers.
Well, I was just
closer.
kinda like,
I look at the big numbers and say, okay, yep, we normally spend that.
Yeah.
That was it.
So Woody and I will pick up on all the small stuff.
Except we didn't pick up a truck that showed up last time. The big stuff.
Yeah.
And then you two were the ones who have to do the minutes because you weren't here last time.
Okay.
So I'll put that on next meeting, the Zone 2 again.
I would just keep it under, keep it under old business. My question, and I might even touch base with the planning coordinators, I just want to make sure that I understand that they're redrafting the Zone 2 for a specific area. Have they considered the effects of what it could do in the other areas of the Zone 2 in town? I'm sure other people are going to ask that question. And after doing it, my big thing is just, when we're talking about the Zone 2, then we should get the change on the map that we need for the Zone 2 for Lancaster Ave. Should go at the same time.
Yep.
But that's my opinion. Somebody making a motion,
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of
July 12th.
July 12th.
So moved. I second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I wasn't here, so you guys got it.
Yeah.
The ayes have it. So we're gonna push the Zone 2 thing out
Sure.
for a little more review. So throw it into old business. Review NOI appeal regarding Hickory Hills pilot study.
Okay, so you guys got that, we scanned it and sent it to you all, so you guys have any comments on that? 'Cause I quite a few. I was called out in a few spots.
There's a lot of, I'll be honest, I did not get a chance to read through the whole thing. I was kind of waiting for either our meeting here or to let our engineering firm review it. Yeah, there's, my quick view of it, I didn't get a chance to read all the way through it, but it's on the agenda, so if there's things that you want to discuss, then we can discuss them, but
Okay.
I guess the other thing too is with that, I mean, is DEP now gonna contact you
I have no
to,
idea how DEP does this, this is all new to me.
okay, so, I don't know.
We haven't heard from Time Bond. I did send it, when I sent
Sure.
it to you guys, I did send it to Time
So-
Bond, and I'm guessing,
I'd make sure that we either get a chance to communicate through our engineering firm or through you directly, hey, we're aware of this, in the process, at any point, do you want any clarification on anything, or do you want anything that we may have a concern about the document?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Well, so yeah, fire away, because I have not seen any of it. I know you tried
alright,
to send it to me.
so my whole thing is, I mean, they raised a lot of things in here. The EPA maximum contaminant level for PFAS is 70, okay? The Hickory Hills well came in multiple samples that we did. This is where supposedly I misinformed people. I did not. They have never asked for the results for the PFAS sampling that we've done. We've done numerous samples. Conservation has it all. I don't know if the conservation sent it, because I scanned all this. I think I sent it to you guys too.
Yep.
I sent it to everybody. And if you look at the results, they're all there. The Hickory Hills well, we went from 2.98 to 37.8, multiple samples, 29, 30, 31. So we've done multiple samples.
Yeah.
You break them out down into the new PFOA, PFOA, and PFOS. That's going to be the new regulations. And you compare the well to the lake water. You can see on the PFOS, the PFOS, the actual well is less contaminated than the lake. So are we dumping toxic chemicals onto their water that leaks in the lake? Absolutely not. Their lake is more toxic than the well. So that needs to be stated, so you all understand. And the EPA regulation is 70 parts per trillion. None of those hit 70. Move this to New Hampshire, you're running that well. It's Massachusetts that's stopping that. So it's only toxic in Massachusetts, but it's not toxic. I mean, so it's just a guideline, you know? So are we dumping toxic? No, I don't agree with that. Iron and manganese, iron, you can have as much iron in the water as you want.
Right.
That's not a health concern. Manganese, only in Massachusetts, they have a 0.3 maximum level.
Right.
So toxic, again, is just referring to Massachusetts. So none of that's, all the stuff that's thrown out there isn't true. So one specific person's going online to find these results that we do. The very first sample that we did, the 37.8, we sent it to the lab. It's a water supply. It went to DEP. The DEP freaked out. Okay, what's going on? This well, you know, it's offline, and we didn't flag it as for our purpose sample, not a distribution
Non-DEP.
sample. So they're like, do not submit these to us anymore, because it raised red flags. We're exceeding all the levels. So boom, we did the samples. They're all here. Anybody wants them, call me up. Be happy to pass them on. But don't say I'm misstating information, because everything I say is fact. They're here. We've asked numerous times for the Hickory Hills PFAS sampling. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
I can't even compare. All I can compare is the samples that we took. What theirs is, I don't know. They didn't mention theirs with the iron, manganese, and E. coli in the lake. You know, to me that's more toxic than the PFAS.
Yeah.
Whatever. Other things on this is that they did a whole big signature list, and many of the people signed multiple names. You could see the person signed not just their name, and another person signed the other people. They signed everybody's name. So, you know, who's dishonest here? You know, is that list? It's bogus. You know, half the people on it were signed by other people.
How many people signed that list versus how many people signatures did they need?
10. They only needed 10. So I mean,
Yeah.
they could have got a legit 10 and not lie. And
Yeah.
there's
They
so much
got-
lying in this thing. It's
Now,
pathetic.
is this the board down there
200.
with all this, or is this,
I don't know. It's a little big group. I don't know.
220, 225.
And those signatures were to what?
It
To
says,
file the appeal.
undersigned support the appeal to the Lunenburg Conservation's order of conditions for the Lunenburg Water District's notice of intent for the pilot water treatment program for the Hickory Hills well located on the easement at the Woodlands Village on Hickory Hills Lake.
Can I see that?
yeah, I wanna see them signatures too. if I
I'm
could.
just kind of interested, but
Do you just
not,
want this-
not,
The signature part?
Yeah,
So when you ask someone that's on the list, I don't even know what that is. I never signed it.
Yes.
Because someone else signed his name for him. Okay? So anyway.
Alright, but if they only
So-
needed 10 signatures, they could've got a legit 10 signatures. I don't know why they got 250 as a
So,
show of force or something. That's fine, but
I-
it's still like, that's a,
I would be concerned that we have a voice on the appeal to DEP. They should, either through our engineering firm or through you contacting them and saying, you know, bringing out some of these concerns that you have with the appeal. They only needed 10. It is what, you know, everybody's trying to
Delay.
put forth a bigger deal, and everybody's trying to make. I'll be honest with you, that the NOI appeal, the reason I didn't read it is because there was just so many pages of just
There's a lot of
all stuff that we've
non-facts.
seen before, all stuff that we've seen
Emails,
before,
documents,
So-
things that,
which
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
which is fine. You know, again, this process and what we have that's either factual, not factual, whatever, if we have concerns about it, I want to make sure that we get them to DEP. You know,
So, but-
and speaking to the PFAS, I agree with you 100%. We've asked them multiple times for things. This thing is on the agenda for the last 3 months, and we haven't seen a resident from Hickory Hills come to any one of our meetings. So, you know, I don't know what's going on. If we can't communicate and work together as a community, and people just aren't here because they feel like they're not, I don't know why people aren't here discussing this, because we are giving them the information, all the information we have. The PFAS results, I'm concerned, not concerned, but my question is they're all over the place.
They fluctuate.
Yeah, you know, and I see that some fluctuate by season, and I think they will continue, because if you have more groundwater, you're probably gonna dilute the PFAS more. So they'd probably be less now than they might have been when we had, let's say, the fall last year, when it was really dry and
Well, yeah, Kenny, what are they now with all this massive amounts of rains we've
Yeah.
got?
Well, see, this raised up, I mean, I heard this, I didn't do any of the testing, so I don't know how factual it is. So usually when I say stuff, I don't lie, I say facts. This one is not fact, because I didn't do it the same thing myself. From what I understand is the water coming in Mulpus Brook into the lake is perfectly clean. There's no PFAS, there's nothing in it, okay? Then it gets in the lake, then it gets contaminated. They need sewerage. So the sewer commissioners should step up and get sewerage in that area. You know, they need to look at environmental concerns, not whatever they're, I don't know, whatever they're doing, but they need sewerage. And I think we should somehow push both safety and environmental concerns. Sewage should be put in around that lake. Lake Whalen didn't dry out, so I don't think Hickory Hills is gonna dry out either. Well, it isn't gonna dry out.
yeah, that's a sewer, to me, that's a sewer thing. It's definitely something that I would think they would be looking at, but.
Well, all right, what else did they?
The cease and desist, that stayed in there, that's why we shut the well off. That's not true.
Right.
Our attorneys kinda, they have no control over us. That cease and desist, they threw it in the trash.
Right.
And, that was a joke. I think everybody laughed at that.
They also
so.
talked about the timeline that we pumped. They said we ran it
Well,
for,
2012 to 2000, that's not true.
Yeah.
We ran it in 2021.
So you-
at 150 gallons a minute. 2022 we dropped. to
You
100.
have these things, you have these records.
We trend everything.
I would
we can
contact,
trend it all.
I would contact DEP and highlight these areas and say, if these are this is the information that we have, these are the records that we have, you know. Again, it's the same old, you're talking about, this was done, this appeal was done by, I think, residents with, I think, in their mind, and it had good intentions to what their beliefs are.
Beliefs
With
that will affect
very,
people that didn't know what
with
they were talking about.
my guess, very little professional help.
Yeah.
And it's the same, and it goes back to using our engineering reports and pulling out a page and a line and saying, well, this is what the report says, without consulting an actual hydrogeologist, which is what we've done time and time again, and been told time and time again, that normal operation of the well will not affect lake levels. But again, you know, I think there are people that they have their views. They want to keep pushing this. It is gonna delay us. It's gonna delay the process that we have to improve the water infrastructure.
I think the best approach to this is, first off, trying not to take too personal. I mean, I'm sure it's very annoying.
As you can tell,
How-
it's upsetting.
however,
Yeah.
However,
Call me a liar.
just take these things, like, obviously, their path here is to thwart, disrupt, delay. That's what all this opposition we're having is 100%, and they're being successful at. That's what they're doing. What we can do is take one bullet at a time and fix it. In other words, all the stuff that they said, we have countered legal documentations that we've ran this. So whenever this stuff comes in, we simply The fluff I don't care about. The legal responsible things we will respond to. We will show the documentation, which we have everything. Listen, this is not the last time they're gonna do this. As soon as this gets pushed back and we get somewhere else, something else is gonna come in. So, you know, at this point, we've done our fair share of public campaign of what, we know what this really is. 90% of this town knows what it is. 10% of the town, they just don't want it, and for whatever reason, and that's their right. And they're gonna keep spreading the rumors, lies, and disrupting. All we can do as a department here is just give the documentation back that supports the truth. That's it.
Like, yeah.
You know, so I mean,
I think
don't.
the frustrating part, what we were talking about is, the perfect example is Mass Ave, the water main.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our first proposal was $800,000.
No,
Because it was delayed by so much, we're now over $2 million.
Right.
Well, I don't think some of these residents realize we keep delaying this.
Yes.
We're
You're right, and
prolonging
I would like that to get out there, that all what they're doing is, this project's gonna happen. All you're doing is adding the cost on you guys.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Yep.
unfortunate.
It's all going to
It-
the residents.
It's all going back on the residents, so I'd love to see some of the other residents being like, hey, cut it out.
Yeah, let's
Well,
do this.
I guess,
Let's get it done.
so if I wanted to say something vocal about it is, yes, we have a lot of negative feedback about what we're trying to do as a water district and cleaning up. The residents out there that see this, and, you know, a little bit of, we do have some that support us vocally. There are residents that are scared to support us
Absolutely.
because they get shunned in the neighborhoods they live in.
Absolutely.
And you
Nice
know,
place to live, huh?
yeah.
But I mean, but once again,
This is-
that's not something that we can like.
We can't control
We can
it.
talk about it amongst friends or whatever. And I mean, shame on the people that act that way and do that. I'm not. I'm concerned about it, but like from a board perspective here, I don't care about it. Feedback the information that we need and press on it.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
And
Keep plugging away.
that's where we're at. So again, my suggestion is that we contact DEP.
Yes.
And you've obviously gone through that whole report. And I would highlight the stuff that isn't in that report, that we have documentation.
Well, I think.
To support.
I don't know if the conservation side, the water conservation, DEP talks to the water quality side.
So that
drinking water side.
would be another thing to find out. And, you know, I think we just need to get, if this is the only opinion that they have in this appeal, I believe the Conservation Commission is not in support of this appeal, or they would not have approved our application.
Right.
I think we should need to do a little legwork through the DEP that we deal with on the water side, and see if there is any way that, you know, we can get our information that we need to, or what do we have as far as the basis of this appeal, or is this strictly a conservation thing?
Right. I think because of the huge concern with the PFAS levels, that everybody's going, you know, hardcore on, you know, correcting the issue. I think this can be a quick process. I think the appeal's gonna go quickly.
Yeah, but there's a lot of information in that. I'm like, this is gonna go to DEP, and it's gonna take somebody a week or two just
Yeah,
to
but-
digest everything that's
But
in
a
this
lot of
appeal.
it is very minor
Right.
Yeah.
emails back and forth that have nothing
It doesn't have any weight.
warranted
Right, yeah, so that's what I'm
to
saying.
appeal it, so.
There's a lot of that fluff in there. I understand personally it being upsetting. Just wipe it off, man. Here's the
hopefully
lake
people
level.
do that.
Here's the PFAS levels. Here's the pumping data. Here's this, that, and the other. Because a water trickled across Mary's front lawn, blah blah. You know, that's not the facts that we're gonna deal with.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Just one little quick thing on the running of that well. I had communicated with DEP about running the well at a lower capacity, under the assumption I could get the manganese to an acceptable level. We did really good, almost got to the 0.3, we got to 0.4. So 0.3, my goal was to turn that well back online.
Right.
And while we were doing full round of sampling, VOCs, SOCs, inorganics, we did everything, MPAs.
This is where the PFAS came
Everybody
about.
knows all, so I'm like, why don't we do a PFAS? And boom, there it is.
Yeah.
So,
As long as we get the information we need to push back,
Push
Well, I'd be
forward.
curious to see
well,
if
I mean,
we're
DEP's
push the
trying
gonna
fence
go
back
through it and say,
and push the pilot test
"You're
forward.
good. We see your numbers,
To
we
tell you the
see all
truth,
of it, so
this
they may.
honestly isn't the worst thing in the world.
It
Because
could-
if DEP wants, I'd love DEP to stick their nose right in this thing.
I would too.
I would love them to really start going through some of these things with a fine tooth comb. Maybe doing a site visit to the area would be fantastic. Come on down.
You know, they're
Let's,
the
let's
ones-
look to see if there's any violations here.
DEP are the ones that want this to happen.
Right.
Why
It's on
aren't
the
they,
agenda. Yeah.
you know?
What's that? Oh, the DEP
The site-
sanitary survey, yeah.
Okay, so
So,
I agree. You know, all we can do is, at this point, push forward. There is a lot of stuff. We've seen it all before. It's all stuff that we've researched before, and we have our professional opinions on. We have our documentation. I would just see if there is a route, maybe talk to, who's the chair now? Is it Mary Wilson is the chair of the conservation?
For just us. Bob Pease is typically.
No, Bob Pease is no longer the chair of the conservation.
Oh, I didn't.
He resigned and they re-elected Mary Wilson. And
Okay.
He resigned
we
from the
don't-
board or
No,
resigned?
he resigned as chair.
Oh.
So he's on as a member. The conservation agent, who was phenomenal for the amount of workload that she had, has left for another position. Which has actually been a good thing, because I think it spurred the last selectmen's meeting I was looking at, spurred them to, you know, kind of look at the retainage of town employees. I mean,
Right.
that's our third conservation agent, we're on our third building inspector, you know, so they're starting to look at that, which is good. I mean, we look at it all the time as far as we want to do salary surveys to make sure that we're in line with other communities. It's just, it's a
Sure.
hard thing out there. It's not just in the public sector, but.
yep.
So anyway, I would maybe reach out to Mary because there is no conservation agent. That's where that started. And then
Yeah.
just, you know, hey, is this appeal something that we have a say anywhere? Is this something that you deal with? Do you need any more information from us? Because we've given them everything,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah, I definitely would
that-
reach out to her
that
for
sort of
that
thing.
portion of like, if you're missing any information or you have questions about any information, I'm here and I can give you documentation if there's any area you're confused about, gray area.
Yep, yep, just to kind of stay involved in the process here.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of smart people at DEP, they deal with this stuff all the time.
Yeah, so that'll be, so Mary will be on my list, and DEP, the water side and the conservation side. I'm gonna hope I get the water side, talk to the conservation side.
Just to kind of see, I mean, if the water side's really pushing to, for this PFAS cleanup, we're not gonna be the only ones.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure there's gotta be some level of cross-communication between the two departments. They're
Yes,
both
from what I
Mass
hear,
DEP.
we're the only ones that had to go through conservation to discharge, because we're exempt, so.
So, yeah, yeah,
Yep, so we'll just, it's easy, keep plugging away, and,
yeah,
yeah, that's all we can do.
yeah, so.
I appreciate your passion in it, Fran, and I'm not belittling it
I'm
one
a little-
iota.
Now that I
It's-
spoke, I'm a little more calmed
it's
down,
just,
but when I get
It's
called out that I'm a liar,
I'm sure it
I get
is.
pretty upset.
And I'm
Yep.
not saying that you shouldn't be, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We're gonna go business mode here and we're just gonna boom, 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 and that.
There you go, I
Yeah.
like it, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, this ain't gonna stop,
No, it's not gonna stop.
you know,
So don't let it burn you out already.
But if anybody wants the lab results, they're right there, so.
Okay.
I can send them to whoever wants them.
okay. All right, any more discussion about the NOI appeal regarding Hickory Hills pilot study? Anybody from Hickory Hills want to talk about it? No, okay. Let's see, so DEP sanitary survey.
Okay, so DEP just came out Wednesday. Site visits to all the wells, like Hickory Hills, all the sites. They do evaluation of everything from record keeping, backflows, computers, how the wells operate, everything. So, a few little things, checklist things where we always did it. I'm not sure what the new employees that kind of got misplaced, but we get back on it. But I think we did really, really good on it, so they go back and they write a report, and then they'll make any kind of recommendations or something like that. But oh no, we did good.
Good. Does this tie to anything that we have going on right now, or this is just general operation of the system?
General operation, but this is where they do look at the water quality results, stuff
Yeah.
like that. This is when the Hickory Hills well became inactive. When this person comes out, they look at everything.
Right.
They look at all your lab results, they look at everything, and then decisions are made of how your system's operating. And they don't, I said recommendations, they don't make recommendations, they tell you what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Why don't we'll skip over the commissioner superintendent additions for right now and the public comment and just kind of review old business. 110 Burridge Street.
Nothing, I meant to take that off, sorry.
Okay, and that was, we have no active application.
Nothing.
to-
We have not heard anything in months, so I need to.
Is that Penniman's property?
Yeah.
So,
I think they might have abandoned that.
yeah.
Yeah, we
So
can take,
we're gonna take that off.
We'll take
Yeah,
that
I meant
off
to,
until-
I meant
Do
to,
you
I
have any
apologize.
contact, the lady that lives down there that was active with that?
Sharon.
Yep, she calls all the time, that's why
Okay.
she's like, I keep
So,
seeing it on there.
that's
I
fine.
know, I'll remove it, I'm
let's
sorry.
take that.
Okay, yeah, so we'll remove that, and just, if she does call the
Yep.
next time, just let her know there's been no activity of it, so at this
Yep.
point, we're not, there's nothing that's gonna
If we get
happen.
an application, we'll definitely.
I'll
put
reach
it
out to
there or
everybody,
reach
yep.
out to you.
Yep.
Yep,
Hickory Hills pilot study, so we're just waiting to go through this process and time-wise. They have a certain amount of time to get back to us, or get back to, that would be a
I
Mary,
get that.
to me, I think this appeal is about conservation's decision. It probably doesn't have anything to do with us, so you might not get anywhere asking. So that's where talking to Mary and kind of seeing, hey, what's this whole process look like? Is it any, if they need, because it might be that they're appealing the decision of the Conservation
I
Commission.
think.
yes, that's exactly,
Because
that's
it
what they're
seems
doing.
like they were there was a lot of emails in there back and forth with the conservation agents. So just making sure that Mary or the Conservation Commission has any information that they may need at some point. I'm assuming they ask, but who knows?
Yeah.
So that, just figuring out what that is. Okay, sorry, we'll call that back later. So other than that, we're waiting on this.
Yep, everyone's
This
on
isn't
hold.
affecting any of our timeline. We're still kind of saying, hey, we're, unless something negative comes out of this.
Well, I mean, it is affecting our
appeal.
timeline.
Yeah, it is.
Big
Yeah,
time.
because there's
Yeah,
still,
I don't know what
we haven't really said, hey, we're still planning for this time frame because it would have just.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
So, no, we don't know.
Okay. So, delay. Okay, Hickory Hills pilot study. Nothing more on that.
Nothing, no.
Anything anybody else have on that? No?
Yeah, I do,
On the Hickory Hills pilot study?
yeah. I'd like to see a plan of the building, not a big expensive plan, kind of a conceptual plan of the size of the lot that we've got under our jurisdiction, the building that's gonna go on there, where it's gonna be placed, so we know they just say, well,
Is that something that the engineering, we really
Can't
can't.
really, because that's why we gotta do the pilot study.
Yeah,
to
we
figure
can't
out-
design it until we know the size of the treatment facility, the treatment part of it. Then they work on the size of the
why
building.
are they telling us what they're telling us then about the building size?
Well, nobody
We
can.
don't know.
We don't know.
We don't
Yeah,
know.
we don't know anything yet.
So,
How do they know it's not gonna work down there if,
No, they didn't say that.
They didn't say
they said
that.
the building ain't gonna fit on that piece of land?
Nobody
It
said
might
that.
fit.
It might, it all depends on the size of the treatment.
Well, I heard that from somebody, and I'm not deaf.
No, there was circulation of information about other treatment facilities and what they look like, and saying that's what we're putting down there.
All right,
which is all false, and that
Yeah.
email should have never
Yeah.
been sent
Yeah.
to anybody.
Right.
And that's why even when we were at the selectmen's meeting the other night, when that one woman got up and says, "Did you see what they were going to build down there?" I want to be like, could you show me? Because I don't know. I don't know. Like, did you guys see some plan I didn't? And that's where this misinformation
Right.
comes from. So
Right, so that's where that little caveat, so we really can't.
Okay, no, I agree.
We can't even conceptually get an idea, because until they design a
We need
treatment
the
plan,
study done, and then we can,
then we can work on
then we
that.
can work on
Right.
many options there.
Okay, anything else on that?
Nope.
I agree, okay, so, Mass Ave water main replacement, I know.
Yeah, I got quite a bit on that one.
Great.
I just spoke to Stantec, 3:30. The state DOT is extremely difficult. I mean, incredibly difficult. A lot of the things we tried to do, they're putting it in the permit that we need to do. Like, we were gonna do our inspecting, no. They're requiring the engineer to have on-site, professional engineer on-site for the whole job. Typically, we waive flowable fill. We request it. They agreed that we could apply for a waiver. But if we do the waiving, if they waive the flowable fill, then we need to pave the whole road a year after the water main job is done. So I spoke to the engineer, I'm like, isn't that gonna cost more than doing the flowable fill? He says, yes, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also now they're requiring 2 intersections that have a full-blown traffic plan with a detailed traffic layout. So Stantec needs to send out their traffic crew.
For what intersection?
I assume
Townsend Harbor?
Northfield and Townsend Harbor, I'm not sure.
So
So
we moved
Gary
it
says,
just a little bit
he says
past.
that's not part of our original proposal, so we're gonna have to add, I'm gonna have to send a change order of that. So it's getting out of control, so he,
Who's our representative?
Like a state rep?
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, I mean, just think, when we have a broken water main, we're jeopardizing the water quality. I mean, so, we do, great job chlorinating and flushing, but we're still opening things up that, you're much better if you're not. So, I'm not saying there's a health concern, but why present the opportunity
why-
for one, So let's just get this thing done. Let's get it done as cheap as possible. I mean, we worked with the state down on the bridge. I mean, we let them bypass, detour, I mean, not bypass, sorry, I'm saying it all wrong. Not running bypass.
Yeah.
We looped around White Street through Richards Way and eliminate them doing the bypass. So, I mean, we cooperated, we helped them whatever we could. I mean, we let them use material and,
Are we getting supporting documentation from the engineer that the state is requiring this stuff?
yes, it's a full-blown email.
Okay.
Of all the
I
You
just
details.
log right into the DOT site,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can see everything,
Yes.
yeah.
So, and the difficult thing for this is, we got comments in June. Okay, we'll respond July 20th.
Right, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
Why can't you respond in 3 days or 2 days? I mean,
Yeah.
the old days, this is no lie. I would fill out a handwritten thing with a map of what I want to do. In 3 days, I had that permit. It was nice. I mean,
Yeah.
you because you talk to me, I call up and talk to them.
Right.
This, you don't talk to anybody. It's all computerized. It's all, So I think tomorrow I'm going to start sending some comments, because you can comment there that this is.
Yeah, there's no one to contact, like on the phone there.
Nope.
That's,
That was my big question today. So anyway, so the process right now is, depending on when he can get the traffic study people out there. Well, he wants to go to bid next Thursday.
What do you need a
Publish it
traffic
next
study
Thursday.
for?
Yeah, I don't know.
All of the physical installation stuff is ironed out?
Yes.
Okay. Other than maybe the flowable fill thing, but I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Flowable fill is gonna be.
You're gonna have to use it because repaving the whole road is, yeah,
Right. And the majority of the water main's off the road anyway, so.
right.
And that was my question. Do we
So
need
why
to
do
use
you-
flowable fill off the road? And that's not confirmed yet.
There's a new crowd down there, I bet. All the old timers that had
Common sense.
common sense and brains
Yeah.
are gone, and now
I mean,
there's
the ones that started off as a laborer and worked their way up
Yeah.
through the
Yeah.
chain and now are
Now
doing it. Be like,
you
I remember
got-
doing that.
now you got some 25-year-old guy down there, a
Engineer,
kid,
yeah. Well,
doesn't
Okay,
even
so
know what it.
The time, the game plan. Next Thursday, the bids are published. So we're going out to bid next Thursday.
Okay.
Assuming the traffic plan goes correct. And then the bids will be accepted till the end of August. And then bid opening. And then we decide. Is it a go or is it a
See the
no-go?
numbers.
Options for a no-go is obviously money. But I already talked to him, because this is so difficult, can we go back to one of our first thoughts is leaving the pipe. Leave that pipe, just run a new one through the middle of it.
That's so much worse. I don't like the idea.
Well, if we come out, yeah, for the bids,
I mean, I know it works, but
Is that sleeving it with that fiberglass?
there's different kinds, there's
What are you
different.
doing this a curb stop or?
They actually, I've actually seen the videos, they run this machine through it and they log everything. And when they actually run the sleeve through, some are poured, some are pushed in, you can actually see the indent when the curb stop in. So this little machine runs through it and drills that hole, so you can actually see it.
yeah.
So my only concern, we have plenty of water down there, so we're going from 8-inch to a 12-inch. We don't really
Right, yeah.
need more water, so that's not really the concern.
Yeah, you're not worried about crunching in that pipe a little bit.
I'm sick of fixing it.
I don't blame you.
That's the thing.
I'm sick of you fixing it.
I'm sick of listening to you.
Everybody's probably sick of me now, so.
All right, so we're still going out to bid even before the traffic plan is done.
Assuming we can get the traffic plan completed, yes, then we're gonna go out to bid, then we'll work with the DOT stuff. to get
Now, when we do the
things done.
traffic plan, do we have to submit that to them before we get another approval?
Yes.
But we
have
can
to
still go
submit
out
it
to
for
bid.
their approval, but it should be quick.
Okay.
But we can still go
And
to
if we
bid.
submit it to them and they
Any same
don't
thing even on
approve,
that bid, we can put it
It can
contingent
be
upon.
yeah.
blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
The DOT
We talked
permit.
about that, yeah. All right.
Okay,
I don't know why they're making things so difficult. You would think they would want this stuff done.
yeah.
They don't seem to have, they don't seem to care about the price
It's
of
not that-
anything.
And then we're looking at, we're gonna increase the cost of doing it because we have to have an on-site engineer doing all of the inspectional stuff?
Yes, I think that was, I don't remember the first, because we had a proposal with that, and then we cut it off, they submitted a new proposal. I wanna say it was 60 grand.
Do we have to use, this is another one, do we have to use Stantec to do that?
It's a professional engineer, so I assume it's Stantec.
I mean, they did the plan, so I guess that's kind of the way.
Yeah.
I don't understand, like, I want to inspect it because it's our system, like, no one's letting anything slide by, it's our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if it's not done right, we're the
Right,
ones
it's
who
we're
gotta
only
go
screwing
back and fix
ourselves,
it.
like, no, this thing needs to be,
I'm with you.
They don't care.
It's difficult.
it's very
You're
bureaucratic.
trying to do the right thing and you can't. Everything we do is difficult. Nothing's easy anymore.
Maybe we should change our methods.
there ain't many of them,
Move to New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire.
Yeah,
yeah.
Maybe we can get New Hampshire's border moved down.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
right.
What?
Nothing.
You want me to go on that or not go
No.
on that? So just push that to the next,
Yeah.
push that down.
If you want me to, you would set it for the last meeting, but you weren't here.
Yeah, no, actually, we talked, so the town was, at one point it was brought up for a health insurance buyback program, the town's doing something, so if employees have other means of getting their health insurance, rather than through us, then it could be a savings to the district. We obviously don't have the number of employees that the town has, but any savings is savings. So I asked the clerk treasurer to see if she could get the information from the town's buyback program and just see. You know, especially we've had a turnover in staff in the last year or so, and I think it's something to kind of look at. It was kind of targeted before. It was only going to affect one person, but I think now would be a good time where we have more, just something to look at. I mean, basically, if they don't take the district's policy, then the employee can opt for not to take it, but there's a criteria that they have to follow to not take it, and then a stipend is paid out. So it would be less than what we pay out for an insurance policy.
Yes, significant,
So, I think at some point, if you have the
Yeah,
town's policy, that you could print a copy out
Yep.
for each one of us to take a look at, and then see if it's something, and I think they're doing, I'm not 100%, but I think it's a trial
I'll
period.
call her and find out exactly what.
So they're trying it out for like a year. So it would have to be whenever the enrollment period is for
Yeah.
us, and if we want to try it out, but, you know, obviously, it's the savings to the district,
Yeah.
so. So that's why that was on there. So 110's gonna be struck forever. The pilot study is gonna stay on old business, obviously the water main, and then we'll keep the health insurance on old business. Okay, superintendent, clerk, treasurer, additions, commissioners. Which end of the table we wanna start at today?
You can talk.
Enterprise, the bank, the packet that I gave you guys. So in reviewing all of our accounts, we have 3 accounts with Enterprise right now and 1 account with Rollstone. So since I've been here, the 3 accounts that we have are, we have our operating account, we have another free business checking account that I guess was set up years ago for our credit card payments to go into. So that's the only thing that goes into that, and then as money's needed in the operating account, it comes out of that other checking account. And then we have a money market account, which I'm not really sure. All these accounts were created before I got here.
Sure.
But in my review, I found we have almost $3 million in the bank. 2 point something, and 2.7. And we are not making anything on any of them. And we're getting charged fees every time I do a wire transfer, lots of fees. So I had them come in last week. Fran and I sat down with a couple of them, the business manager.
Yep.
He just sent me that whole proposal, what you guys have. So basically what they're looking to do is they are agreeing to waive all of our fees, meaning wire transfer fees.
Hell yeah.
Yes, which should have been done a long time ago. And then changing basically the top account, that money market account, and the account on the bottom, the free business checking, that's the one that we have 1.6 million in, and
We
that
don't make anything on
and we
it.
make nothing on it right now. So they're looking so they're looking to change both of those accounts to the 3.75%.
Yep.
And with that, and then the operating account, they said because it's an operating account, how did he say? Because you can't put it in the same type of
Understood.
investing. So that's why that one's only at 1.25. But basically you can see this huge difference of changing these. The other advantages were that it was the FDIC enhancement, so that it was,
So we're protected from, even though we're exceeding the 100,000, usually FDIC, they have this agreements with other banks where the money's dispersed,
Yeah.
not really dispersed, covered by other banks. So we're protected.
so regardless
from
if
full amount.
anything ever happened with Enterprise, we are covered. So basically I'm just looking for your
Yeah.
okay
Yeah.
to, we also have on the
Yeah, this last page was 4.75.
we have one account in Rollstone, which I think was just an old account that was left there. The only thing that gets deposited, I don't take anything out of it. I don't even know if my name's on it. Fran's is on it.
Yeah.
The only thing that goes into it is the Verizon cell
Yep.
income. So it's like $3,600 every month put in there. That they're looking to transfer over and turn into that CDARS, the FDIC Enhanced CD, which is like a 6-month,
Correct.
and it will make the 4.75%.
But you can't touch it for that
You
6.
can't touch it for the 6 months, but in the 5 years that I've been here,
Yes.
I have never done a thing.
It's a
So
6 months roll around, every 6 months it rolls
every
around.
6 months, we can talk to them. They'll touch base with us. Do you have a project coming up? Do we need to do
Correct.
anything? Nope, let's roll it into another 6 months.
I like that a lot.
I questioned longer terms, and he said, typically you would think that longer terms you might have better rate. He said,
No.
not right now.
Well, and so here's the other thing too, is with that, so how much money roughly is in that account, do you know, that when you're talking about?
500,000.
In that-
In the Rollstone?
No, in that, where the Verizon payment goes.
Yeah, 500,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we got $500,000 over there that
I think we easily could do $1 million in CDs.
I was about to say,
$1 million in
So
CDs.
that's kind of my question too. So the
cool.
operating account, we have, so the money market account, I have not touched that account in the 5 years that I've been
Is that the
here.
1.6, is that what you're talking?
That's the, sorry, the very
That's
top.
the operating.
That's, nope.
No, the very- oh,
So
the very top,
The very
yeah.
top account has 923 in it.
Yep,
In the 5 years I've been here, I have never touched a dime out of it. So the operating account, stay as it is.
that's the middle one, the municipal
Yep, the
checking.
enterprise account, I apologize, the credit card account, the very bottom one.
Yep,
Those are the only two accounts that really matter. And the credit card account, which is the bottom one, really is only if, like I just had to do that big payment for the Clean Water Trust for our loans.
sure.
$250,000 came out. We were kind of close in the operating account, so we took money from the credit cards
Yeah.
and said, okay, this is going into operating. So, but in this, again, in the 5 years, I've maybe done that once or twice. So I agree with what Fran's saying, that the very top account, that money market,
Yeah. Send that whole thing.
included with the Rollstone, we could easily do the million at the 4.75 every 6 months, doing that,
Yeah.
if that's something that you guys want to do to get a higher interest.
So,
So that basically would change, so we could turn the 923 into what we're
So you're
talking
saying we have a
about.
923 plus of roughly 500, correct? In that
Yeah.
Rollstone account?
Yeah.
Can we put all of that in there?
We absolutely can.
And then keep the
And then
other
we'd
two
have-
accounts? You switch them over to what they're proposing here, but just keep those, your
Keeping them
operating.
at, yeah, oh yeah, the operating and the business free checking. And I'll say, we have those to the credit card account because for us, it would be a nightmare to try to reconcile every month of Invoice Cloud
Oh,
and our
absolutely.
operating accounts. So this way we have our two accounts, but they're still basically operating
But
accounts.
these two accounts now, we can get a little more juice on them.
Yes.
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 So I am all for making. if we
So,
can-
I mean, I guess what it's gonna come to is, right now, do we see in 6 months needing $1 million? If the answer's no, then I say we tell them we wanna put $1 million
Into the 4.7.
into the
And
4.75.
take the remainder and put it into the 3.75.
Yes.
Yes.
And then every 6 months, I can come to you guys and say, what do we
Already-
have
yeah,
projected,
what do we
what do we
do?
have projected?
when we get ready to do the tank or whatnot.
That's what I'm
Right,
thinking too,
right.
then that's when
That'll
we,
be enough
if
time.
we start talking about it, but that's why I think a 6 months would be
I think a
good,
6
so
month
for
is fine.
now.
I mean, there is obviously, if something ever came, you can pull up, you get penalized.
Yes.
Which we would not want to do.
Yes,
My one thing on this, I don't know if you remember, John, or Fran, if you remember, there was a time where all of our stuff was in Rollstone and we switched.
I remember.
And I cannot remember why. And it would have had to been for a benefit. And then I look at what our accounts right now are in, there is, where they are now is no benefit.
yeah,
So I don't know why, I'm
We did
trying
it for
to,
online banking.
okay.
so, okay,
Right now, we use Invoice Cloud. At that time, there was no such thing as Invoice Cloud, so it was, what was the name of that banking? You use it in town. You-
Unibank,
Unibank.
Unipay is, I think is what something,
So,
yeah.
so Enterprise had connections to do that, so we could do the online bill pay. And as time went on, Invoice Cloud came out, tied to a meter billing program, so that was to us
That's a
the best
convenience
way,
factor.
So everything moved to Enterprise, but we never received the other benefits on
Rollstone
it,
stuff. So I guess basically, are we okay with me closing the Rollstone account? Keeping everything with Enterprise?
Well,
Obviously, I can't until we.
I don't know, so if we, with the way things have gone now and where things are at, is Rollstone at a point now where they can fulfill the capabilities of why we went to Enterprise? And are they gonna give us a better rate?
So you want me to look into a whole
I
other
hate
bank?
I hate to, but this is a little bit of money. So,
Yep. Are we talking?
I don't know
you
what
want me to
everybody
s-
else
Okay, are you
thought
talking
is.
about me talking to them about all of our money and seeing what Rollstone can do, or just that account?
No, all of them.
Who's gonna give us a better deal?
Okay.
and still give us the same capabilities we have today.
Okay.
I mean, I applaud you
Oh, I think
110% because
Fantastic.
you've just found, you know,
About 100 grand.
we don't pay her enough. I mean, what'd you get us, a grant for 250 grand or something? And now you just found us almost 100 grand worth of
why did you
interest we
go
can get
Enterprise
annually.
Bank? Just
I don't know.
Enterprise.
Enterprise is who we already have.
Okay.
Right.
Before
Understood.
I even started
And
here,
it-
all
and
of the accounts
And
were
this
at
is who we've
Enterprise.
used for a long time.
Yes,
We've used them for
I
a
will
long
say, I do, and I have a good relationship with them.
Okay.
Obviously, I totally understand what you're saying. I will go to Rollstone and I will talk to them. I do have a great relationship with them. Anytime I
Okay.
have ever
That
had
makes
any
a big difference.
questions.
Oh, yeah.
They are a huge help
But-
when I do my wire transfers, when we have problems with our check machines.
Did we
I
have
will
any
just say-
issues prior to with Rollstone other than that?
No, it was just the online bill pay.
And
I
right.
mean, since I've
So-
been here, we've had 3 banks.
So
What was the
unfortunately,
one on Summer Street?
safety fund?
So it's Safety Fund,
Yeah.
Goldstone, then Enterprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I will.
I like Enterprise, I like Rollstone, to me, they're two, you know, for what we do, you're not putting your money in workers.
No.
So,
I'll reach out to Rollstone. Let me see if I can get on that right away, because I do think that this is something that we should
Yeah.
stay right on
If
top of.
they-
I mean,
if they-
obviously,
yeah.
you see $100,000 within a year we can make.
Take these
So-
numbers and add like, 0.5% each and send that over to Rollstone and be like,
Say
if you
This
can
is
match
what
it,
we're-
you
yeah.
got it.
yeah,
All right,
Because
I
the
will,
reality is, so like that, what is that, 4.75? That's, I feel, pretty good.
Yeah, yes.
oh, I
Very
will tell
good.
you that these numbers are
These
great.
numbers are
I'm a
great.
little disappointed that our bank doesn't come to us, that Christie has to go to the bank.
Yeah,
So it was funny because I went there for a wire transfer
Yeah.
last week or 2 weeks ago, and one of the women, the manager there, she goes, "Oh, hey, we're starting to go out and reach out to everybody
Yeah.
again." And I said, "I've been meaning to call you." I said,
Yeah.
"Now it's great timing." I said, "Our accounts." I said, "We are getting fees." I'm like, "Right now, you guys are charging me $35 to come in and do this wire transfer." I'm
Yeah.
like, "We have a lot of money in this
Yeah,
bank
yeah.
account."
Yeah.
I
I'm
said,
not paying any-
and I'm looking at some of the other stuff. I'm like, the fees that you charge us
Yeah.
just for having our credit cards. I said, and we make nothing in our $1.7 million bank account.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. We gotta. Yes, I'm gonna put
Yeah.
it all together. When can you meet? When can you do it? So yeah, I do agree. And he had said that too. He says, "Oh, with the rates going and they're changing, we're reaching out to our customers now
I'm
to approach them."
assuming that this 4.75 is like every 6 months it's gonna get renegotiated.
Yes,
I would assume
he
that.
said that's kind of the tough part, but
Well, I mean, that's the, I mean,
Still
it is
better-
what it is.
it's better than
zero.
3% or
Yes.
nothing,
Yeah.
right,
right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we can always search. I think it's good to have a couple different places to bounce stuff.
So that's the other
Okay.
thing too, like, I don't mind having different banks sometimes, just, I don't wanna have all the eggs in
Oh,
one
no.
basket,
Sure.
you know?
Well, that's what's nice
Well-
about this too, is that, like you said, if anything ever had happened to
Right.
Enterprise,
Right.
we're covered because of that. The other nice thing that Enterprise offered to me was this other program that they offer, which I want to find out if the other one does. Basically, it would cover me fraud protection.
Oh,
He
right,
said the
yeah.
fraud protection is. It's changing. It used to be electronic. He said now, because people can deposit checks from their phones, people are going old school and they're literally taking checks out of mailboxes and whiting out the name to
Oh,
Unitil
click.
and
Oh.
putting your name and taking a picture and depositing it.
Yeah.
So they have this whole fraud protection that tomorrow when I pay all my bills, I would take that warrant, go into an Excel sheet and send it to them.
Okay.
When somebody cashes that check, they're gonna go, all right, does that number and that name match that deposit? Yep, okay, you'll clear it.
Okay.
Doesn't match, they're gonna send me a message and say, hey, John
Right.
Smith just signed a check number 123. No, that was made out to Unitil.
Yeah.
Declined.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
fraud protection, they've got a good
Okay.
program there, so.
I would think if there's an interest level on the, like, I just contact somebody at Rollstone.
Yeah, I will.
If there's an interest
Yep.
level, they'll come in and probably go over.
Exactly.
Right,
Yes, the
I
same
don't,
way
I
to
know,
say
I saw the eye roll, I don't blame you, like, I just did all this, now you want me to do it again?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I-
But I understand it a little more, so I can go to them and I can ask.
Sure.
That's the thing,
Like,
it's
this is
it's
what I
fresh,
thought.
she's sharp on
Right,
all
well,
of
I
it.
mean, yeah.
What
but
do
it's-
you have?
But
So-
I don't know, I know,
I agree.
I don't
That's
wanna ask, I mean, I'm normally try to stick true to my vendors and everything that I
Yeah.
do.
I don't mind.
You know.
We'll put it on for 2 weeks.
I honestly would reach out to them.
I mean, I don't know, I'm one guy, if these guys are happy with it the way it
Well,
is.
no, I mean, I guess I would reach out to them, and it
Doesn't hurt to
they,
ask.
Yeah.
they gotta drive this ship.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
we got some
If
money.
you're interested.
If you're interested, let's
What do you
work
got?
together. But
Yeah.
if they don't really kind of like jump on me,
Yep.
like give you
And-
a package
Yeah.
like this, like okay,
Apples
then,
for apples as far as any of our procedural processes and what we're doing.
Yes.
If
that's the
Yeah.
other thing. There's
There-
also a factor in
there's
here
gonna
that-
be a switch over expense to us.
Right,
They need to own, I mean, it's gotta be worth our while.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I understand even from your mental capacity, like now I have to redo it. No, I understand. Like,
Well, not
I
even
still
that.
have workers out of like, and I hate them, but like I don't want to go through and move everything. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's a pain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that,
It would have to be, it would have to be
it have to be
substantial.
substantial. So
Yeah.
Have they, these interest rates, have they gone up for everybody?
well, they're kind of all. It's scary.
There's not a whole
Yeah.
lot, yeah.
There's not a whole lot of good investments out there. If you go,
No.
let me
Yeah.
know. You know.
But I thought the feds changed the interest rates.
That was for the
For the people with the bad credit.
Yeah, that was for the people with the bad credit.
Yeah, the people with the good credit, we have higher, we now
with
have
the-
higher.
We pay a higher rate, so
Yeah.
people with the bad credit.
To
Yeah.
pay for
No,
their-
that right now, I think in an investing world, that's about as
Yeah.
good as you're getting.
It's-
Didn't they
Seems to
just
be.
raise it today?
What's that?
Didn't they raise the interest rates today? I think
I don't
4%
know.
again, another one.
So,
Sort of highs in 20.
you have a next presidential election, it's gonna change no matter what happens.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes. So, I mean, yes, that's great. Good job, Chris.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
Alright,
Alright, so, I don't know if you wanna go to me, the only thing I got, did you get a call about a hydrant on Hemlock or wherever they had that fire?
Yes, it was
Okay.
leaking at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, they fixed the gasket today.
Okay. Yeah, that was the only thing that I had. The Hydro Seed Ferry showed up today
yes, that's
on
good.
Northfield Road and everything, cause
Nice,
I wanna
thank
make
you.
sure our jobs, nobody sees what you do in the ground, everybody sees what's left over at the end.
Yeah, so we had two
So-
broken water mains. I think one was before the last meeting. Northfield Road,
Mm-hmm.
never had one in Northfield. And then we were paving Northfield. It was 90 degrees out on Friday. John
Mm-hmm.
actually was there when we had a broken main on West Egget Drive. And they were hot top. You can't, what do you do with the hot tops?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you guys gotta finish. So I dug the main by myself and we tried to get Tandem or Bobby Proctor and everybody was all booked up. They couldn't get there. So I dug it, and then they finished the hot tub, and they came over and we wrapped it up. So.
That was the 1 o'clock at night finish time?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that last time,
Yeah.
pay rec for
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had the water on at 10. It was, we had to do the cleanup and
Yeah.
stuff. So.
Oh,
Cool. John, you got anything?
no, I don't.
Mr. Woodward?
No.
One more thing.
Yep.
I think it's time we start looking at replacing some equipment. I mean, a lot of the stuff's getting pretty old. Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree.
The jumping jack didn't run that day. I know a lot of you guys like Hondas. I'm not a big Honda fan.
They never run. Mine runs half the time.
So
What's the problem, man?
So a lot of the equipment we have it's over 20 years old.
You're talking like not trucks, but like hand tool type of.
Yeah, like the diaphragm pumps, jumping jack,
Yeah.
compact, basic things. I mean, on the big stuff, the JCB's are '96, the Cats are 2009, and all the other trucks. I mean, the trucks are old, but they still run good.
Trucks are fine.
Yeah.
Well,
But I mean,
You know,
the Cat runs
Remind me to
good.
tell you
The
that.
backhoe, I think, I've said it before that I think we need to step up our game. I would like to maybe get rid of one of them and get a loader so we can load the trucks easier. And then maybe if we get rid of, not get rid of, add a rubber tired excavator so we can drive to the broken water mains.
So.
I think a rubber tired excavator.
On my excursion, I saw a rubber-tired excavator towing a trailer, a dump trailer. And I'm like, that is a really, really good idea. So you would tow the empty dump trailer to the site, dig the thing out right into your little dump trailer.
And
You
then,
bail out of it, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
I've never heard that. That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff out
I was
there
gonna
that you
take
could
a
look
picture of
into.
it, but
The
yeah.
only problem with rubber tire excavators is they don't drive down the road like you think they do. It's not like taking the backhoe out there. It's not. I don't
As long
get
as
me
they
wrong.
got there.
Yeah,
And
that's all, it's
they're
more so
getting
that-
better, they do, and I would say ground speed is probably somewhat equivalent to the backhoe.
25 miles an hour.
If it does 10.
I was shocked, I mean, I watched these things.
It's more so the digging.
And I mean,
They're getting down there
everywhere.
and doing stuff to be able
Everywhere.
to turn
Rubber tired
and-
excavated,
yeah.
some with trailers.
Run one all day.
They were,
I'm like, I think like I want.
they were zipping down the road. I don't know whether it's the
Right here,
the tires they
yeah.
had on it or something, it
That
seemed
was the
very
type.
stable.
Well, you
I was
can
looking
buy
at
a,
it.
you can buy a single
stabilized
tire
all the way
machine,
to
and
the
you
top.
can buy a
Double
dual
tire.
tire.
spilling all
that's
over the
where I
place.
think-
Spilling everywhere.
That's where I think your stability comes driving down the road. Some of the ones I saw were dual.
So what do you,
Dual
so to
tire.
get back to it, what do you want to,
And it drives
to
just
get
like
some
a
prices
backhoe.
together?
No,
Yeah.
just open their minds. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
I would definitely,
Pumps and
I
these
definitely
pumps.
feel that our backhoe could have a rotation.
Yeah.
I would definitely be in favor of getting rid of the JCB, putting the cat down to the list and getting a new backhoe. That I would balk at. You say you want a loader?
Well,
Be nice to load it.
if you have a load, so the backhoe's on the site, and they come back to the shop to load something up, they have nothing at the shop to load. So if you have a rubber tired excavator on the site, then you don't need the backhoe on the site, you have the backhoe to load.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested in seeing what the difference in cost would be from a backhoe to a rubber tired excavator.
Okay, and no one, we don't have to buy new.
No.
There's plenty of new
Yeah.
stuff out there, so.
Yeah, some of these companies, they turn their stuff over every 2 years, whether it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's like the military, you know, don't go
I
by.
got- Look, Littleton just, well, I mean, we got our new service truck there, but like they just sold one, and like it's the same thing. I was like, oh my god, we should bid on that thing. It was that, but it was, you know, it went
Yeah.
for half the price, and it was 2 years old or something. I'm like,
Wow.
so. I definitely would entertain, especially when it comes to smaller stuff like pumps and whatnot.
I think
like-
don't you have equipment replacement in the budget?
No.
I thought
We used
we-
to, we took it out.
Oh.
We had 20,000 we would carry for equipment replacement. Maybe we should put that back.
I almost think you should.
Yeah.
Because even if you have a good year, you don't need to, then carry that over, like, you know,
So
like.
then when we do
So
need
you
it.
do need it.
We do have the water main replacement account, we put 50,000.
I thought that's
why.
for water mains and equipment.
Right.
So anything tied to water main.
So I'd make a list of what you think you need and
I would definitely, I am all about making sure you have the right equipment to make your job is less crappy as possible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's nothing worse than
Well,
going to fix a water main
wait.
and you don't
And you
have.
pump
jumping jack doesn't work, your pump
Yeah,
doesn't work.
it's-
This is stuff that I think we have to
Yeah.
have that needs to be pretty easy. You don't wanna be working on the equipment to do the
Right.
job that you're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah, and when you think
what I do
about,
all day.
think about a rubber tire excavator, the attachments are what you gotta have.
Cost.
Great
For
about
digging,
the-
for
the
digging
knuckle.
water mains, probably not. They don't need a
Oh,
rusty bucket,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Oh, yeah, you need a grader bucket to clean up, you need a water bucket.
We don't clean up, we just call these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Hey,
I'm,
if
Fran,
you're gonna
I mean,
buy
go down, start making a list of things that you think you did,
All right,
that you
all right.
should, and I'm not opposed to any of that.
I'm not opposed to just, you know, if you want to see the list, but I think Fran's been.
Dude, you need a
very
jumping
responsible.
jack.
Go buy
Yeah,
it.
Go buy one.
That's what I'm kinda,
But I'm telling you, find an electric one, 'cause that's what I want.
what? Oh, an
I want an
electric,
electric jumping jack.
why not? That would be
First
awesome.
off, mine is the same way. It starts, hopefully, but I don't use a jumping jack for an hour straight. I use it for 5 minutes, around a manhole,
Yeah.
whatever, out of here. It gets pulled in and out of the hole with the machine dropped and all everything like that.
Yeah.
If that thing had a car battery in it, was about the same as a Honda motor, I think that would be fantastic. I mean, if I just had to go,
Yeah.
We'll look into that,
oh
because a lot of stuff's coming on electric, so.
man, I would.
Yep.
I'd love to. I'd love to, for you to buy one and then be like, well,
So, hey,
You wanna borrow
hey, can I
it?
borrow it? I got 3 jumping jacks if
They're
you wanna
the
try to
bane of
make,
my existence.
wanna try to make one that works.
At 6'3", do you think using a jumping jack is fun? I hate that thing. But there's nothing better in
Yeah, they
circumstances.
work the
You-
best.
yeah.
That was
All
all
right.
I had.
Alright, so I think if we're good, public comment? No public comment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, so moved. Perfect.
Aye.